and now I have the select tool by default. Okay, I click stop sketch, and now I have this circle and this square, which is only drawn on top of my box. Okay, and what I want to do here is to use again the extrusion tool. Now what I want to show you is that the extrusion tool, I will click E on my keyboard, so E as for extrusion, right? And I will select the profile. First I will select this circular profile, right? If I click it, now I can go either upwards and add volume, right? So if I add volume, the operation is a join operation, so I will join this new body into the previous one. Or if I go downwards, you'll see what happens. Now it's cutting the part. Okay, I can go all as deep as I want or just a little bit. So in this case, let's say I just want to cut, here it says cut, only 10 millimeters, and then I click OK, right? So now I have a small cut on my previous figure, right? And then, as you can see, the sketch already disappeared, but I mean, we know it's there, so I'll just have to go here to sketches, and all my sketches have been automatically turned off. But if I click here, I know this is going to be my sketch. So I need to still work on sketch 3, so I click the light bulb, and I can see again my square here. So with the extrusion tool, I could create a hole, or I will click it again, and now I'll select this profile and I'll go up like small pedestal. Okay, 20 millimeters, and join, and then I click OK. So I can now turn off this sketch, and I have a small hole and I have a small extrusion on top of my box. Okay, all of these, the hole and the extrusion and the original box, they all belong to body number 2, right? Whilst this one is body number 1. So 2 different bodies, and what I need to do right now, I will create a third body. Okay, so I can just click here on top, and all the views will change. I can rotate them. Let's say I want to work in this one. Okay, and I want to create a new sketch, so I just click here, and sorry about that, I click here, and then I will just create a new sketch. Okay, so top, and create, let's say in this case, this is where your homework really starts. Okay, so far you can follow what I've just did, and that would be okay. But what I need you to do is to draw the first letter of your name. Okay, so for example, mine would be a P. I just start with a line. I will click here. Let's say I'll start downwards, and then in this direction, okay, I'll go up, and I click escape, so I have these 3 lines, and then I will go here to an arc. Okay, let's say a 3-point arc, so I define 1 point, 2 points, and then I go all the way like this. It's getting bigger like a balloon. I'll just leave it like that. Okay, maybe your letters will be easier, maybe they will be a bit more difficult. That's part of your homework. Okay, so once I have this, I will select a circle, right, and it will be a concentric circle. I'll just have it like that. Stop sketch. Okay, and now if I change the view to something like this, I can go again to use the extrude tool. I select the profile, and as you can see, these 2 profiles, if I just select one of them, then this will create like a hole. Okay, like an automatic hole, and I'll just go upwards, whatever, new body, and then I click OK. Now what we want to do here, we just created a really big letter here, and we want to put this letter on top of this pedestal, right? But it's too big, so there's another tool that I want to show you, which is the scale tool. So I basically just select it, it's selected, or I can just click here in body 3 and everything will be selected, and I go to modify, right? This is a new tool that we haven't used, and we go to scale. Okay, so I will scale it by some factor, and I have already selected the entities, a uniform scale, and by how much. Let's say in this case I want to have it at 20%, which is 0.2. okay, and I click enter, and now I can see that this might fit into on top of this pedestal, right? Just to make things a bit more colorful, I can select again my body and right click and go to appearance, right? Click here, and then here I can look for different colors. For example, let's say I want green. I click the green, I drag it all the way to the body, and now I have a green P, okay? And I click close. I can again select like body 2, appearance, and maybe this one I want to have it in yellow. Now it's yellow. And let's say body 1, I can drag this somewhere else. I want to have it in red, sorry, red, and I just drag the red to the body, and that's it. Okay, so now I have colors in my design. Now how do I get this P on top of this pedestal? Well, basically I just select the body again, and I click here in create, modify again, sorry, and then move. Okay, I'm just used to the to actually just selecting, clicking M, and now I can move it. Okay, and here I have different choices for the moving. I can free move it in any direction and rotation I want, just translation, which would be X, Y, and Z. Okay, so by these ones, let's say it's 0 millimeters in Z, I come closer like this, and then I come closer like that. Okay, so now I'm close. I will click OK just to finish the movement. Click on top, and if I click here on fit, then everything will fit in my screen. Okay, with the small hand I can move it, and I can see that it basically fits quite correctly, right? So now I want to have it actually more centered than this, right? What do I need to do? Well, I basically just take it. Okay, so I'm just gonna select body trim again, right click, you can right click it and then click here to move. Okay, and then this is a very useful one, point to point. So I select the origin point, I can make a zoom in and select, for example, this point here, right? And then the target point, maybe I want to have it on this corner. Okay, so now it's moved, and now it's in the right place. However, I might want to have it a bit more centered. I change here to translate, and then I just move it a little bit. I can define how much, and then move it upwards, and that's it. Okay, and if I click on top, there you go, pretty much centered. Okay, and as you can see, they have different heights and everything. All right, now I want to move something else. I want to move this one, the actual body of the grinder. We can change, for example, the names. I can put here grinder body, for example, and then I just select it, and it's going to be something similar, right? So I click move, and again, let's say point to point, but instead of selecting a point, I can select, for example, this outer circle, right? And the target point would be this one here, and automatically it will center everything. Okay, so as you can see, now it's centered, it's in place. And there's something else I want to show you. Let's say I forgot something, or I do want to change something, but it's already been created, right? So what can I do? Again, I can go, for example, let's say this hole here, I want to make it a bit thinner, right? So the actual body fits in more snugly. So I can go here to sketch number 3, edit sketch, and remember, all I need to do is click here in sketch dimension. I select the circle. It says it's 120 millimeters in diameter. Let's say I want to have it 100 millimeters in diameter. Enter, and when I click stop sketch, everything automatically applies, and now it fits closer. Okay, if I want to have it almost to the same size, I can click here in inspect. I click this one, and it says it's about 87 millimeters, right? So maybe I want to go to sketch again, edit sketch, and put it as, let's say, 89 millimeters. Okay, so it will be even closer to the actual. As you can see now, I can barely see the distance between one and the other. However, it is there. We have some really small clearance between one and the other. Okay. Now, where does does the classwork enter in this arena? So now we've created components, a revolution. We've used extrude and everything, right? And now we have, let's say, this. But what I need you to do, and here's the tricky part. So now that you have put the initial letter on your name, I need you to go and use the screw that was given to you today during class. So you have to take that one and you have to find it again in the McMaster-Carr database. How do you do that? It's really simple. You go here to Insert, McMaster-Carr component. That's why we were using this web page today. Okay, so as you can see, it's the same web page, and you go, let's say here, screws and bolts. In this case, let's say a socket head screw, and let's say ours was 1/4 of an inch in diameter with a 20 thread. We click any of those, right? And the length, let's say we want to have one with 2 inches length. Whatever was the one that I gave you today, that's the one you need to put in here into your design. Okay, so now that you selected, you go here, fully thread, for example, and this is the only choice you have. You go to product detail, so it's basically what we did today. And once you go down all the way, here, this is what you saw previously, and here you have to select either step or SAT, so we'll leave it in step, and we click save. And when we do this, we have to wait a little bit. Just be patient. And now we have the screw on our design. Okay, so we've just imported this part into our design, right? And what I need you to do is, let's say, okay, you can move it wherever you want. Let's just leave it there for the time being. And I want you to drill a hole on your letter, on top of your letter, that goes all the way through these 3 parts, and then you have to put this screw on top of that. So we'll just do it very quickly. We just go here to create. Now what we want to create is a hole. Okay, so we create a hole, and we have different things to select. So face points, we select this face. Okay, now we can do some zoom in. We can move it around. Sorry, we can move it around. Let's just put it around here. Maybe it doesn't have to be that precise in this sense. Let's just change to this sort of view. So as you can see, it goes all the way through all of them because it's a 60 millimeter in length. If I put, for example, 40 millimeter, then it will get only to this part. Since, for example, the screw I'm importing is 2 inches, that's about 50 millimeters, right? Or actually, it's, if just quick shortcut, if you have a Mac, just click Command Spacebar to get the spotlight, and if you click here 2 inch, it says 5.008 centimeters, right? So we click here 550.8, that would be 2 inches. Okay, and then we click OK, and that's it. We have our hole that's been already created, and now we need to put the screw in this place.